they say oil is running out, that we are running out of energy. But today, the reality is completely the opposite. The International Energy Agency has issued a historic warning: we are living through the largest global oversupply of oil of all time. A completely overflowing supply, never seen before. For years, we were told that the world was running out of reserves, that crude oil was reaching its end. But those who truly know this business, the major oil companies and producing countries, knew otherwise. Not only is the global supply more than sufficient, it is even abundant. The International Energy Agency confirms this. In its latest report, it states that global oil supply is projected to grow by around 3 million barrels per day this year, and by an additional 2.5 million barrels per day the following year. At the same time, demand is growing, but very little, only about 600,000 barrels per day this year, while supply grows by several million. This creates a clear imbalance. Supply is significantly outpacing demand. In the public imagination, OPEC appears as an organization that manipulates prices to harm consumers. But its real strategy is different: to present itself as the central bank of global oil, the most reliable, competitive, and accessible supplier on the planet. Its objective is clear: to show the markets that they have capacity, that they can produce, and that they can do it cheaply. Therefore, instead of reducing production in the face of oversupply, OPEC together with Russia and other countries, has decided to increase production. The reason: to weaken countries that depend on high oil prices to finance their political activities, like Iran and Venezuela, and to displace alternative energy sources by showing that oil remains the competitive option. Meanwhile, the United States has undergone a genuine energy revolution. U.S. crude oil production has already surpassed 13 million barrels per day. In some months, it has reached 13.4 million barrels. This means the U.S. has gone from being the world's largest importer to the world's largest oil producer in just a few years. The impact: oil prices have begun to fall. We are talking about a drop of more than 15% this year, with crude prices below pre-Ukraine war levels. When adjusted for inflation, OPEC producers themselves state that the real price of oil is lower than in the 1980s. This shows that we are not facing a scarcity crisis, but rather an oversupply and excess capacity. Now, what are the implications of all this? Advantages of this scenario: lower prices can benefit consumers and reduce the cost of fuel and energy. Companies become more competitive, and technological efficiency has allowed many to remain profitable even at low prices. Countries with low production costs can use cheap oil as a strategic advantage, and the abundance of supply enables a smoother transition to renewable energy. Risks and disadvantages: low prices for too long can reduce future investment and create shortages in the long term. Persistent oversupply can push prices so low that smaller producers are forced out of the market, generating unemployment and instability. For exporting countries that rely on high revenues, this means less income and potential fiscal crises. And for consumers, even if oil is cheaper, it does not automatically translate into paying less, because more than half of the final price comes from taxes and government fees. Additional data: global oil supply reached around 108 million barrels per day in September, an increase of over 5.6 million barrels compared to the previous year. U.S. production reached a record of 13.4 million barrels in August and is expected to remain at that level in 2025. U.S. crude production grew by approximately 9% compared to the previous year. So, what should we retain? Oil is not running out. On the contrary, we are facing an unprecedented oversupply. This completely changes the narrative. It is no longer a matter of running out but of what to do with so much. Competition between cheap oil, renewable energy, taxes, and state revenue models is the new playing field. If you are paying a lot for energy, even though production and prices have improved, it is not only because of crude or companies, but because governments are using this situation to collect more. The future will not belong to those who have the most oil, but to those who know how to use it intelligently, with technology, efficiency, and transparency. Because having a lot does not guarantee paying less. Sources of information: International Energy Agency, Reuters, Bloomberg, OPEC, U.S. Energy Information Administration, Financial Times, oil price. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming content. Share this video so more people can enjoy it. I am Juan Blesa, and everything shared here is the result of meticulous research, verified through internationally recognized economic and geopolitical sources. because truthful information is never improvised. Thank you for your support.